What is up, YouTube? It's Psychedelic Scizor, and I am here with my Week 1 battle and team builder of the LSD League 1 Showdown. I definitely feel like I have to qualify that because I've done some fucked up lives before, but I'm not going to do one on acid because that is definitely too fucked up. At least I'm probably not going to. Who knows? But Amph has a really scary team. Oh yeah, I forgot who I even was playing. I was playing Week 1 versus Amph and the Belfast Blazikens, who is a horrifying team. I should put it up around here, hopefully, if I'm not a lazy fucker. And that team is Kieran Black, which is a Z user, Florges, Empoleon, Uxie, which is a Z user, Palisand, Tauros, Rotom Heat, Terrakion, which is a Z user, Torn Eye, Frogadier, Incineroar, and Mega Venusaur. That is disgusting. Kyurem Black plus Terrakion is a disgusting breaking core because literally the only thing that can even remotely stop Kyurem is Steel types, and Terrakion eats those for lunch. So that's kind of horrifying, and I hate that. So, just his team is tough to prepare for just for that. And then you add on the fact that you also have to be able to switch in to Tornadus and even to a lesser extent mons like Tauros. And then you also, on top of that, have to find ways to break Mega Venusaur and Rotom Heat. And Rotom Heat's not hard to break. Mega Venusaur, got a tough team to face. I think I did a pretty good job with what I have prepped though. So we'll just see right here what I have. First off, my main win condition here is Blunder, my Thundurus with Psychium Z, Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and Psychic. I do have Defiant on there because neither Defiant nor Prankster are going to do anything for me this game, and so at least if I have Defiant, I can bluff that I am physical, and he might switch into then a physical wall as I Nasty Plot. So just kind of running that as a bluff because neither ability is going to help me here. But this destroys his entire team. Psychium Z will, at +2, always Oko Mega Venusaur by a lot, and even then, if it's Max Def Mega Venusaur, just a regular Psychium Z will still do like 80 to 90%, which is still a ton. Focus Blast hits Kyurem, and Thunderbolt hits literally everything else. He doesn't have switch-ins to this. Once I get a Nasty Plot up, just nothing on his team takes this. So that's the goal of this game, is to weaken down the Mega Venusaur, and then just get an opportunity to switch Thundurus in and get a Nasty Plot. That is the goal. Next, we have got Wigglytuff, which is my Kyurem switch-in. Wish Protect, Dazzling Gleam, Stealth Rock with leftovers. Dazzling Gleam hits his team pretty well, except for the Rotom. Not that Rotom's going to be able to do much to me back, except maybe Toxic me, which wouldn't be ideal, but I don't think Rotom has a particularly good matchup here, so I don't particularly think he'll bring it. But I am able to avoid 2-hit KOs from Kyurem, except for from Ironhead, but I don't really have a choice. There's nothing on my team that isn't 2-hit KO'd by some coverage move. And this is at least a mon that I think maybe he won't bring Ironhead just because it's freaking Wigglytuff, so who knows. Maybe like Sub, Roost, Ice Beam, something else, Fusion Bolt, I don't know. Nah, Fusion Bolt doesn't make sense, but you get the idea. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It does kind of suck that his main defoggers being Rotom and Empoleon, or not his main ones, but two of his defoggers actually resist Dazzling Gleam, and so I can't really beat them with competitive necessarily, although I think if they lack Toxic, I will win in the long run. It just might take a while. So it's really just the only mon I think that can afford to run Stealth Rock on this team, so Wigglytuff is here, and Wigglytuff, I still insist, is an actual mon, I promise. So next we've got a Nihilego with the Shookaberry, Sludge Wave, Power Jump, Thunderbolt, and Acid Spray. This Acid Spray was originally Toxic Spikes, but I put those on Nidoqueen, and Acid Spray does help me actually quite a bit. It does allow me to 2-hit KO Mega Venusaur with Sludge Wave that I normally would not be able to do. So that's pretty nice. And the Shuka Berry, this thing is a partial switch in to a lot of things. It's like a partial switch in. It's my main switch into Tornadus. It is also a backup switch into Kyurem. It is a backup switch into Mega Venusaur. It's just kind of generally supposed to take a hit and then fired a hit back. He doesn't really have switch into this either, which is really nice. And this does actually beat his Defoggers, which is why originally I did have Toxic Spikes, but Acid Spray was a little too nice, especially on top of the fact that I fit Toxic Spikes pretty well on Nidoqueen, so yeah. Enough speed to outspeed Kyurem, the rest in special attack and HP, and not much to explain here. Shuka Berry is going to be pretty handy for Earth Power from Kyurem, Earthquake from Nidoqueen, an HP Ground from Torn. You know, it covers a lot on his team. Next, we've got like a general bulky pivot, sort of, in Tornadus. It outspeeds his entire team. U-Turn, Hurricane, Dark Pulse, and Focus Blast. Pretty simple overall. I did pick Dark Pulse over Knockoff, mostly for Palisand, which is something that could, if you chose to bring a Spadef Palisand, that actually could be a problem for my Thundurus, which is why originally I considered Dark EMZ, but then when I realized the huge damage difference between Dark EMZ and Psyche EMZ on Mega Venusaur, I had to go Psyche EMZ. There was just no other way. So Dark Pulse, even with it being Spadef, Dark Pulse would still do more than Knockoff, so we are here with Dark Pulse. Charty Berry is also a very, very soft switch in to Terrakion. It's not my main switch in Nidoqueen is, but I have to have backups to it because those mons, Kyurem and Terrakion, are way too scary to not have multiple switch-ins to it. And Torn just kind of is going to fill the pivot role this game. I'm okay with that. Next, we've got Nidoqueen, also with a Shuka Berry, so we've got triple berries this week. Toxic Spikes, Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Crunch. I ran Physical because it just kind of functions better versus his team. Poison Jab hits Florges harder than Sludge Wave would. Also, Crunch gives me something to hit Uxie, whereas Spadef Uxie could actually somewhat switch into Nidoqueen. There is enough speed here to outspeed an uninvested uninvested Uxie. I am Nidoqueen. Where was I? Oh yeah, and Terrakion. This thing is my main switch into Terrakion. It actually takes hits from Terrakion very well, but again, because it doesn't have recovery, I need to make this game quick because I can't switch in that many times to it. And that is what Toxic Spikes are for. If I can get Toxic Spikes up early, that will help this game tremendously. And finally, I really was tossing up what to bring in this last slot. I eventually decided on Absol, just a Life Orb set with knockoffs, Sucker Punch, Psycho Cut, and Swords Dance. Psycho Cut hits everything on his team that resists Dark, so that being Florges and Terrakion. And at +2, this thing is amazingly powerful. It does give me some... just priority is nice versus team if I'm able to get Terrakion and Kyurem low but not knocked out. Sucker Punch will do an alright amount, although it doesn't do that much to Terrakion. If I don't knock it out, I give it a +1 attack boost, so it's not ideal. But the other thing that's nice, and this is pretty scummy of me, is I do have Super Luck, which increases my crit ratio by 1 stage, and Psycho Cut has a high crit ratio. I'm probably going to crit something with Psycho Cut. It's actually more likely than not, I believe, to crit. With Life Orb, that's going to freaking hurt. Also, I didn't have to run a whole lot of speed. I just ran it to outspeed some of his uninvested walls. I believe this outspeeds Uxie, that's uninvested. And so, Adamant Life Orb is extremely powerful. So, that's the team. Let's get into it. So, he brought Kyurem, Frogadier, Mega Venusaur, Uxie, Terrakion, and Florges. And immediately when I saw Frogadier, I had a horrifying flashback to his draft analysis where he mentioned something about probably having to bring Scarf Frogadier, and I realized, holy shit, this thing is Scarf with Ice Beam. I can't sweep with Thundurus if this thing is still alive. So I immediately panicked before I even started the game because I realized my main win condition cannot win as long as that mon is around. So I have to bait that thing in as much as I can and wear it down and get rid of it so Thunderous can win. Otherwise, this team is pretty much what I expected. I maybe expected Empoleon over Florges, although looking back on it, Florges does make sense because while I do have my two poison types there, Florges does take hits better from Tornadus because Tornadus doesn't have a way to hit it, at least as well. I think it gets Sledge Wave, but Sledge Wave is going to hit it not as hard as like a superpower would hit Empoleon. You know what I mean? So let's get into this. So he leads, Oxy, I lead. Wigglytuff, and we just trade rocks turn 1. Next, he's going to Thunder Wave me, as I'm going to go for a Wish, but I don't get it off. I'm just going to stay in to see what he does. I'm going to fire off a Wish and switch in my Tornadus because there's really no risk. I'm going to be at full health no matter what he does. He does knock off my Charty Berry, though, which is scary, but it's alright because I'm going to U-turn out here, get some momentum as he goes into Florges, and I am going to go, I believe, into Nihilego. And here I'm going to start playing aggressively because I know his team is just so offensive. I can't play passively because he is going to win this matchup because his team at the moment is stronger than mine. He has better walls to my offensive mons. So I'm going to go for an Acid Spray as he switches into Venusaur, which I have a small chance to knock him out here. I don't get the roll, as the Shuka Berry is going to get procced by his Earthquake. This is a physical Venusaur, and Sledge Wave is going to knock him out, although this thing is dead to Stealth Rocks when it switches in. I still kind of want to keep this as a sack, as he brings in Frogadier, which, the way he brought it in, and the way he went for an attack, I already knew it was Scarf, but now, like, I really, really know it's Scarf. So I'm going to take a lot from this Ice Beam because it gets a crit. I'm still not even going to take that much, though. So I am going to get up a Wish here, and after doing a calc, he cannot knock me out with this Ice Beam. It does minimum 28.6%, and I'm at 29%. So I'm going to fire off Dazzling Gleam, hoping he doesn't get a crit, because I need this thing weakened. If I can't weaken this thing, or get rid of it, really, then there's no point in me losing my Wigglytuff, because I won't be able to win the game anyway, so it doesn't matter if I lose it. So I do live pretty comfortably. I fire off a Dazzling Gleam, do 50%, and I am back up to about 60% right now. I believe I'm going to throw up another Wish, and I think the same thing's going to happen here. I'm going to fire off another Dazzling Gleam, do a little bit to Florges, as at least might force it to Wish, as I believe I am about to switch out to Nidoqueen. Yep, as he fires off a Wish. I'm going to take up my opportunity here to get my Toxic Spikes as he goes into Uxie. And this is huge, because now with Toxic Spikes and Stealth Rocks up, I am able to wear down his team very quickly. And then I go Absol as he goes Frogadier. So here's where I kind of make a play. I thought it was kind of middle ground, maybe a little risky depending on what his coverage was, but I'm going to go for a Psycho Cut here, because it will knock out Frogadier if he stays in. And if he switches out, he'll still be dead to hazards, I believe. Yeah, he will, because he'll take poison here, and then next time he comes in, he'll take Stealth Rocks and poison. So he'll die to hazards if he switches out, and if he stays in, he still dies. So I want to get rid of this Frogadier. This turn works out fantastic for me, though, because he's going to U-turn out. I'm going to live, because I have a little bit of bulk. And then he's going to go out into Florges. Psycho Cut is going to crit and knock out the Florges. That is huge. So he brings in Frogadier here. I think that was kind of just a lapse of judgment for a second, because that Frogadier dies. I guess it was one of those, it said it was at 13%, but it was actually at like 12 point something, so it just killed it, which I feel bad. That kind of sucks. But he's going to go cure him here, and I'm going to be in a tough spot here. I want a Sucker Punch to get some damage off on it, but I eventually decided to click Knockoff because I figured if he gets a sub up, that is awful for me. So I'd rather have my Absol go down and do nothing rather than him get a sub up for free. And really, in hindsight, maybe I could have just spammed Sucker Punch, but it is what it is. Didn't end up mattering too much because he is going to... What is he going to do here? He's going to knock me out with Iron Head. And despite that he's locked in Ironhead, I'm still going to go Wigglytuff anyway because I know I can live one. I'm going to get paralyzed here, which is going to suck, but he is still taking all that poison damage, so I'm going to protect. So he goes for Ironhead again. He's going to take another 12%. Here I'm going to switch out into Nihilego just to burn another turn, as he's going to go for Ironhead again, and he's going to take even more damage. And I know here I can protect for free, and Uxie's going to come in here. So I forget what I do here. Yeah, I'm just going to let him kill me, because I don't really need a switch in anymore, because that thing dies anyway. So here I think is my opportunity to set up and win. I'm going to click Nasty Plot, but he's going to go for Memento, which gets rid of my special attack boost, and instead gives me actually +2 attack instead of -2 attack. He goes Terrakion here, and I was afraid he was Scarfed the way he brought it in, and Nidoqueen was a perfectly free switch in, so I was perfectly fine with that. Goes for Earthquake, Shookaberry coming in again, and Earthquake is going to do a huge amount to him. I know I can just switch into Torn here just to take the hit. Doesn't matter if he knocks me out with a Fight EMZ here because it doesn't even knock me out actually. He's going to die to Poison. And finally, Kyurem is actually going to turn out to be Scarf, and he's going to knock me out with Ice Beam. Doesn't matter though because he's going to die to Poison this turn. And we're going to pick up a 2-0 win over one of the scariest wall-breaking cores this league has to offer. It's just really scary. GG Amph, I think that was a really fun match. I loved that match, and I hope you do well this season. I hope I do a little better. But, yeah, that was awesome 2-0 victory. We are 1-0, and that is a great start to our championship run. So if you guys like what the Oakland Azelfs are doing, make sure you like, subscribe, share, do what you do with the YouTube videos. I'm going to get on out of here and see you guys later.